Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time. We have another Blizzard game on the list here.
I swear, it's always some damn thing.
This is Starcraft.
Oh, hell, this thing ain't gonna hold. Shut up. Damn, you're ugly.
You girls strapped in nice and tight now. Tighter than your mama leg. That's a good one, Mangg. Locked in and cruising.
What you got for me out there, Joey Ray?
We got Terra for sure. I don't know about the rest. We got a big old buttload of floating debris out here. Woo-wee! We hit pay dirt this time for sure. Explain to me how we gonna get all this home. I'm detached and moving toward the derelict spacecraft.
Damn it, Jim. Video's out again.
Well, quit picking at it.
I ain't picking at it, damn it. I'm out here with a hitch in my kitty up in here and there slapping your jacks. I'm here with that dirty Hold on, I got visual. Get the damn boat, you son of a back! I'm behind the ship! I'm behind you, Jim!
I'm not sure if I've ever watched that cutscene before. Really strong, like, alien vibes, which was, like, one of the most interesting things about that movie to me. Even though I'm not crazy about the movie, I like that it's, like, it's far enough in the future that, like, space travel is so routine that it's basically, like, a trucker thing now, you know? Like, just, like, redneck truckers are just hauling cargo across space. I always like that. But anyways, yeah, StarCraft. 1998. We are playing the free version that's on Battle.net. This is completely free to play. It's the original game plus the expansion Brood War. It's not quite like the original, like, you know, Windows 98 version or anything like that. It's basically the remastered client, I think, but they've just stripped out all the remastered features. But it still, like, runs completely fine on modern systems and all that, and has some modern niceties that were not in the original game. Like FPS caps. We didn't have that back in the day. Display your APM in-game and alert you if your APM falls below a certain number. No, we didn't have shit like that. So yeah, we owned StarCraft. Aside from Diablo 2, it's possible that StarCraft was like our most played PC game when I was younger. And that was primarily for me for one reason, and that was use map settings. Which basically was a catch-all term for any sort of multiplayer game that deviated from the default format of a RTS multiplayer game. And yeah, back in the heyday, late 90s, early 2000s, there was so many use map setting games on StarCraft that were just amazing. And this trend also carried through with like Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 and Starcraft 2. and I can't remember that many specifics. Lurker defense was probably one of my favorite sort of subgenres, which is basically tower defense, but with lurkers. And, you know, late 90s, tower defense was not really a thing. So that was really unique to see. Nowadays, obviously, it's not very special, but there was another one that was like this sort of sandbox RPG mode where you started out, everyone started out with like a single Marine character. And you went out and you could do quests and you leveled up and you could upgrade your unit into different things. And it was just like this sort of a sandbox mode. There was just so many use map setting stuff. And so I never played through the single player. I never did normal multiplayer stuff. I just did use map settings, and I had a blast. But for this, we're going to be playing the single player original campaign. The remastered version does look a lot better, but it costs $15, and I'm a cheap bastard. So let's just, yeah, Terran episode 1. This is the whole where Starcraft started right here. Terran campaign, Rebel Yell. In the decade since the end of the Guild Wars, the oppressive Terran Confederacy has stood unchallenged in its supremacy over colonized space. All of that changed 4 days ago when a large alien fleet emerged from warp space and laid waste to the unsuspecting Confederate colony of Chau Sara. The Confederacy, fearing that the alien fleet's next target will be the colony of Mar Sara, has sent you to intervene. Acting as magistrate, you are to safeguard the colonists and keep their state of panic from escalating any further. I guess I didn't really even explain what StarCraft is if you're not familiar, but it seems...
Welcome to Mar Sara, Magistrate. The equipment demonstration you requested is prepared and may be initiated at your convenience.
It seems unlikely that anyone is not familiar with what StarCraft is.
Skip the demonstration by selecting Skip Tutorial.
But this, of course, is another RTS. We've looked at a handful of them so far, including Warcraft 2.
If you feel you are ready, you may select
But StarCraft is in space. And,
280 SCV is the cornerstone of our hostile environment construction and resource gathering operations.
Roger that.
In order to build a thriving colony, numerous SCVs are necessary. You can build additional SCVs at a command center.
so StarCraft is certainly very similar to Warcraft in a lot of respects, outside of just the setting and stuff. There's still, like, a primary resource that you need to have specific units sort of mined for you. There's secondary resource that you have to go for to build more advanced stuff. Each of your units costs supply that you have to build, supply buildings in order to expand. And there's different factions with differing types of units. That's all, sort of the same between the two. But StarCraft definitely advanced the RTS mechanics in a few notable ways, such as having 3 factions instead of 2, and having the factions units differ even more than Warcraft. The Marine is very different than the Zergling, which is very different than the Zealot,
Yes,
In
sir.
order to equip additional personnel, you must have enough supply depots. You can use SCVs to build additional supply depots.
Give me some of this shit.
And just the overall, like, capabilities. If you remember in Warcraft 2, you can only select 6 units simultaneously, whereas here we can select, 12? Yeah. So, they doubled that number. I'm not really an expert enough to go into all the sort of advancements and differences and things like that. But there's voice acting now. There's, like, animated character portraits. Plenty of different things. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's another RTS. just with, at the time, pretty awesome RTS graphics and great music, awesome little voice lines.
Jacked up and good to go. Commander.
I mean, Warcraft 2 had little voice lines when you did stuff, but this has the like actual dialogue between characters and stuff.
Standing by. Give me something to shoot. Reporting for duty. Affirmative. Orders received.
I guess we could roam around with our Marines.
SCV good to go, sir. Right away, sir. Commander. Rock and roll.
They actually gave us quite a few.
Outstanding. Rock and roll. Outstanding. Permission to speak freely, sir. I'm not sure you know what you're doing. If you're going to send us into hostile territory and you want us to defend ourselves, then use the attack command. But if you want us to ignore enemy fire and go exactly to the spot you targeted, then use the move command. Now, which'll it be? Go, go, go!
Yeah, the attack animations and death animations were also pretty awesome.
Rock and roll!
Even though I generally like this sort of setting better, I think Starcraft lacks in the sort of the charm that Warcraft 2 continues to have.
Go, go, go! Rock and roll! Go, go, go! Rock and roll! Go, go, go! Let's move! Rock and roll! Outstanding! Rock and roll!
Yeah, whenever a Marine dies, their head just pops off. Great.
Outstanding! Rock and roll!
Alright.
Reporting for duty.
Let's get a refinery going.
Your forces are under attack.
Yeah, it's okay. So, I'm not exactly sure the specifics, but like, I'm pretty certain for Warcraft 1, they tried to get a Warhammer license, and they couldn't get it.
Converting it into a form
So they made Warcraft, they made their own setting. I can't remember if they tried to get a license for 40K, or if they were just heavily inspired by 40K. I don't think they tried to make a 40K game, but there's obviously a fair number of similarities.
Right away, sir.
What is my objective? 3 supply to use a refill. Okay.
Orders received. Right away, sir. I read you.
I mean, ultimately, I don't know if the StarCraft universe is as interesting as the 40K universe, but that's coming from someone that doesn't know a lot about the story.
This concludes the equipment demonstration. There will now be a fully catered reception at Marsara Base.
Hey, nice.
Adjutant online. Good evening, Magistrate. I'll fill you in on what's been happening. Confederate traffic has increased substantially within the system due to the recent Protoss destruction of the Chow Sara colony. The Confederates have tightened security on all outlying systems, and it's likely that this colony will be locked down as well. An encrypted Confederate transmission came for you while you were at dinner. Replaying transmission.
Greetings, Magistrate. I'm General Edmund Duke of the Confederate Security Forces Alpha Squadron. The Confederacy has quarantined this entire planet, and we'll proceed with a lockdown within 48 hours. You're to relocate your core colonists to the outlying wastelands. Now, I know there won't be any problems with these new arrangements.
Transmission ended. I have contacted the local marshal, James Rayner. Rayner has agreed to meet your personnel en route and escort them to the new wasteland site.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like those sort of briefings lack the overall charm of Warcraft 2. Orcs are on the move, you know. It's just like, but it's certainly more like engaging, I guess, as far as like delivering a story.
Outstanding. Go, go, go.
Howdy, boys. I'm Jim Rayner, marshal of these parts.
Yeah, Jim Rayner. I think like the most important character in Starcraft, or I'm not. Well, no, I guess Kerrigan's probably the most important.
Oh, yeah.
Most beloved? I don't know.
Did I read you? Roger that.
Give me some of
Did
this
I
shit.
read you? Reporting for duty. Yes, sir?
Rayner here. Anytime you're ready. Right on. Sounds fun.
So this, oh man, this is actually a Marine on like a motorcycle. First, I never realized that.
This should be good.
I always thought this was just like a closed-in like car vehicle. But that's what I get for playing in 4K compared to like an 800 by 600 17-inch monitor back in the day.
Right on.
I'm sure the remastered makes that very clear.
Yes, sir?
Not enough minerals.
Yes, sir?
Shit.
SCV good to go,
Not
sir.
enough minerals.
Orders received.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting this is. And I probably should have like played through these 2 missions or so on my own and then started the video. But we're here now.
SCV good to go, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, indeed.
This is Jimmy.
Job finished.
Infantry units such as Marines can be trained at this facility.
But yeah, I can see why they did a remaster of this game. And they haven't really needed to do a remaster of Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 still looks just very clean.
You want a piece of me, boy? Rock and roll.
Because there's no real attempt at, like, realism. It's just colorful sprites. Whereas this looks much more dated with, like, trying to go for a realistic style. Yeah, I mean, that's a tale as old as time, though.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Not enough minerals.
Standing by.
Set a rally point.
You want a
I think
piece
we
of
can increase the game speed. There you go. Helps a little bit.
You want a piece of me, boy? You want a piece of me, boy?
Receiving incoming transmission. Comlink established.
Hey, what's up, man? Got your refugees tucked in nice and tight? Provided you can sidestep any more surprises from our Confederate friends and we can keep them away from those critters, they should have an easy time.
Priority alert. Backwater station under attack by unknown alien organisms. Distress beacon activated at 0658. Alerting Confederate headquarters on Tarsonis. Stand by for incoming transmission.
We've already received the distress beacon from Backwater, and we'll take care of it. You just sit tight. You'll be notified if there's anything we think you need to know.
Damn! Listen, if we wait for Confederate reinforcements, that station's dust. I'll head out there now and do what I can. You send in some militia, and we'll save those folks. Trust me.
If they ever make a Starcraft movie, there's like a 1,000,000,000% chance that Raynor will be played by David Harbour.
Glad to see you, boys. Time to kick some serious butt.
I would say the only reason I'd want to play the remastered version, assuming it's a feature, is to zoom out. This just feels so, like, restricted.
SCV good to go, sir. SCV good to go, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. Playing all these RTS games for this list, it kind of makes me want to do like an RTS Let's Play of a campaign or two. So I don't know. If anyone wants to chime in and say like what the best RTS campaign is.
Reporting for duty.
Get an engineering bay going. So we can get fire bats.
Not enough minerals.
Raynor here. You want a piece of me, boy? Go, go, go.
Good music though.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Job finished. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, obviously, just very similar to Warcraft 2 in a lot of ways. but I don't know if it was just because StarCraft was more popular or the map creation tools were more robust, but use map settings really exploded with StarCraft of just like unique ideas. I recall doing some stuff in Warcraft 2 with use map settings, but nothing like StarCraft.
Orders, Captain?
Okay, I don't know if you get an academy in this one. What a tease. Well, we don't need it. We don't need it.
Not enough minerals.
Rainer here.
So yeah, Rayner's pretty powerful. He's a special vulture unit. He does 30 damage with his grenades. Marines do 6 with their rifles. And his spider mines, you can lay down 125 damage. That's going to kill anything. But if he dies, we lose. So, you know. That's why we mostly want to rely on the Marines. That's why we're upgrading their guns.
You want a piece of me, boy? Give me something to shoot. You want a piece of me, boy?
Yeah, you know how many times I've heard you want a piece of me, boy?
You want a piece of me, boy? You want a piece of me, boy?
Upgrade complete.
Alright, so that brought him up to 6+1. But, you know, when you have a bunch of them, that certainly matters. Let's see what 12 of them can do.
Let's move.
Your forces are under attack.
Go, go, go. Outstanding. You want a piece of me, boy?
So that's a bunker that can hold, I think 4 units. And they can shoot out from it if they have, like, if you have Marines or something. And provides some nice defense. Protect them. Oh, there's like a whole... There's an academy up here. Would you look at that? With fire bats.
You got my attention.
Yeah, fire bats.
You got it. Let's burn. You got my attention.
So here we're introduced to the Zerg base and how the Zerg operate.
Let's burn. Slam it.
So the Zerg are certainly similar to the Tyranid from 40k,
You got it.
but I don't know how much 40k goes into like how the Tyranid reproduce and like their home planets and stuff. But since here you have to have an RTS with this as a playable faction, they need to build stuff.
Your forces are under attack. Upgrade complete.
So the Zerg have to build on this purple stuff, and I don't even remember what it's called because it's been so long. But all of their buildings sort of spread this purple stuff a little bit, and then they can only build on the purple stuff, so they can't build like remote locations very easily.
You got it. Naturally. Slamming.
Upgrade
Slamming.
What the hell did they do to that command center?
Purge it. Yeah, we're being safe, I guess. I could build more. Just in case.
Piece of me, boy. Fired up. Let's burn.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Marshal Rayner, by destroying a vital Confederate installation, you and your men have violated standing colonial law. As of right now, you're all under arrest. I suggest you throw down your weapons and come peaceably.
Are you out of your mind? If we hadn't burned that damn factory, this entire colony could have been overrun. Maybe if you hadn't taken your sweet time in getting here.
Now, I asked you nice the first time, boy. I didn't come here to talk with you. Now throw down them weapons.
Guess you wouldn't be a Confederate if you weren't a complete pain in the ass.
There you have it. That's right, more cutscenes.
Hey, Sarge, why we always gotta listen to this shit for anyway?
Cause I'm in charge, that's why.
Oh, it don't seem like no good kind of reason to me. Awesome. Hey, what's that?
Hold on right a second.
Steamroller! Looks like you mashed some poor fella's dog, Sarge.
It's a Zerglin, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. But he can be out this far unless... Oh, shit.
I love you, Sarge.
Man, what a classic.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Survive for 30 minutes, so I don't know if we're going to do this one.
Magistrate. And frankly, I don't care what you have to say about Confederate regulations.
Alright. So yeah, that would be that. I do remember doing that. That's probably like where I gave up when I was younger. I was just like, I don't want to do any more of that. But if you do the Zerg...
Awaken, my child, and embrace the glory that is your birthright. Know that
Yeah, you get the Overmind talking to you.
the eternal will of the swarm.
Creep. That's what it's called. Yeah, purple stuff is creep.
The hatchery is the heart of any Zerg colony. It spontaneously generates larvae, which in turn are used to spawn your various warriors and minions.
Yeah, so they do it much differently than the Terran. Because the hatchery then makes all these little larvae, and these can become your drones to mine stuff and things like that. Or they can become, you know, attack units or things like that. And when you want to build something as the drone, if I recall correctly, the drone, yeah, mutates and becomes a building, and you lose the drone in the process. So it's like a very different building style entirely, which is pretty cool. So you can just go over here And boom, it just like pupates and oh yeah, it's lovely.
We require more minerals.
Yeah. So that's Zerg. If you weren't aware. And then Protoss, who are the sort of Tau, I guess. The advanced alien species.
Dune, Executor. I am Judicator Aldaris. I have been sent by the Conclave to serve and counsel you. The former Executor.
Yep. Everything's very formal and elevated, enlightened. So they have the Zealot as their base unit, which is a melee unit. But they get Dragoons, which are sort of tanks.
Make use of me for vengeance. Mitora. Commencing. For vengeance. Initiated. Lopai. For vengeance. Confirmed.
And the Protoss are a little different because they actually get shields. I think like all their units get shields by default, which slowly recharge. So that's kind of nice.
I long for combat. Some Kalanos. Awaiting instructions. Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Dragoon's fucked. Whoops.
Executor and Taro Adun. It is good to see you once more.
The warriors have engaged the enemy. Initiated.
Alas, all of our probes were lost in the last Zerg attack, and we had no resources with which to replace them. As you will.
Alright, so Protoss, sort of similar to Terran, they just build their basic worker unit at their big nexus.
I had intended to construct photon cannons here for defense, but without probes we could not do so.
But they also are sort of similar to the Zerg because they can only build... Well, they can build anywhere, but they need these pylons in order to power their buildings. So this over here is unpowered. So you have to keep building these pylons in order to keep all your shit working. And yeah, that warps in. So they can set up remote bases very easily. And I remember like Protoss sort of rush. Where they would just set up like pylons and shit right outside your base at the start of the game. And they would build like these photon cannons right off the bat, and that would suck. What was the objectives here? Destroy the Zerg base. Okay. Could probably do that.
My life for hire. Honor guide me.
Executor, what would you ask of me?
Let's do what we can.
As you will. Naktagala.
Phoenix is too fast. Oh yeah, Zerg units can burrow, which is pretty cool.
Immediately. Naktagala. As you will.
Oh god, that's bad. Probably want to get him out of there. So they have the Mutalisks, the flying units. You get clogged in these sort of pathways. They get confused. Alright, there we go. Oh shit, they're tearing apart my base. That's bad. But all I have to do is kill their base. We'll survive. Except Phoenix. He's gotta get out of there. A lot more units than I thought they would. I mean, obviously, if I was playing normally, I would have given myself a bit more time here. Yeah, well. Anyways, so that's StarCraft. I mean, obviously, that's just the campaign and only a very small part of it, not even getting into the multiplayer, which was the main appeal of StarCraft, and Warcraft for that matter. But yeah, I don't really have much issue saying StarCraft's one of the best games of all time. It's, you know, one of those just legendary parts of a genre. It did a lot right back in the day. And it's still, you know, it's still perfectly playable, still holds up very well. Especially with the remastered version, which looks even, you know, looks fairly modern. Like I said, I'm tempted to just kind of play through the whole campaign for the whole story elements. So yeah, I mean, it holds up. Is StarCraft 2 better? Maybe. It's hard to say. I mean, I didn't really get into StarCraft 2 at all. Because that came out at a point where I was just sort of done with RTS games. So I can't really say. Sometimes you have sequels where it's like, well, why would you ever play the original when you have the sequel? But for something like this, it has like a story, like a campaign mode that is unique to itself. It's not automatically supplanted by a sequel. So I still think there is reasons to play the original StarCraft, and it's still good. So yeah, one of the best games of all time. Alright, I think we'll leave it off there. My name is Mangg. This has been Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time with StarCraft. And I'll see you fine folks next time.